looks. All right. Hi. Okay, you guys can see me. I didn't realize you guys could see me. I guess I jump back on. All right. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Let me get out of here. I'm going to jump to where are, oh, I guess I'm not sharing my screen yet. Hang tight. Here we go. I didn't realize you guys could see me. I guess I jump back on. All right. All right, let me get this open. Glad you guys are back on. Share screens. Where are, oh. All right, so you can now see my screen. So we also have, let's see, there's, all right, there's Leslie there. Okay, so, hey, D, I see you're on. Appreciate you showing up. Leslie's on. Ashley, thank you guys for jumping on and checking this out. All right, here we go. So I want to jump into the, sorry, Leslie, I'm gonna do this just really quick. Just, oh man, are you guys still seeing it blurry right now? What is the deal? Dang. I have no idea why that is so blurry. Give me a second. I actually just realized I think I might know what it is. Nope, not that one. Hang tight. Found it. Oh my gosh. I think, well, no, that's still pretty freaking blurry. Why is that still blurry? We are having some streaming issues because for some reason, this is not coming through very clear for Facebook Live. Dang. Tell me, actually, well, hold on though. Now that I'm looking at it on the smaller screen over here, it's actually looking like it's looking okay. Oh my gosh. I think, well, no, it's still pretty freaking blurry. Why is that? Hey, tell me. We're having some streaming issues. For some, can you guys see that okay? I want to make sure we get this good enough that you guys can see it. So hey, tell me, hopefully you don't have any, it shows okay for you. Ashley, thank you. Awesome. Okay. Then I'm not going to get all crazy and freak out because maybe it's just because I'm streaming too many things going on right now. I just want to make sure that you guys can see okay. So obviously we're going to jump into Hub 925 because I skipped them twice already. I want to jump in. I want to share with them, you guys, some details about their website. This is actually, this is the first one that I've seen. I haven't jumped on this site yet. And if you guys have any audio and you guys can't hear me very well, please let me know. Hopefully I got this mic set up pretty well. All right. So, all right, we've got Hub 925. They're using video. I like that. Not in love with the idea of throwing a discount down the first thing that somebody sees. That instantly makes somebody a discount venue. Now, right now, if you actually watch the video, what I can see is a whole lot of the ceiling. And again, coming back to, we are, we're reviewing this on a large monitor. The reason we're reviewing it on a large monitor is so we can see how it scales. And what I want to do is I actually want to tag Kathy in a quick comment and let her know that we are doing her website. And whoops, that's not, for some reason. Kathy. There she is. Doing yours now. Okay. So she hopefully will get that in a second. Okay, cool. All right. So the reason that it's actually showing, you know, a lot of the ceiling in that video is that it just didn't scale well, right? So remember, we make it a smaller monitor, and it would actually scale well. Now, here's what's really interesting. So as you watch, the video ends and it goes to a black screen. That's not a very good use of that space. So what I might do is I might make it loop, right? Because obviously right now it's not looping at all. All right, up here, let's create a little space between this navigation. Let's look at some, you know, actually let's look at some contact info. But sorry, I want to go backwards. I apologize. Let's hop backwards really quick. Let's check out some technology. Let's kind of go through our list, make sure that we're actually looking at what we should be looking at, and make sure I'm actually speaking kind of in context here. All right, we are, and we're looking at a WordPress website. Hey, Denise, welcome. All right, so we've got, let's see, DT the 7 is the theme that's being used. So this is a WordPress site. It's obviously going full width. Technology seems fine. It kind of seems like this is a good website, somewhat up to date. And this venue obviously doesn't just do weddings, right? So they do, you know, there's some working stations here, obviously some events. So that, you know, this is a different venue than just being a wedding venue. So I would say, you know, personally, the technology is great. Let's not stress too much on that. Design, it's very clean. Definitely looks like kind of urban, you know, that's fine. I think one of the biggest things in the design is that I'm not in love with giving away a discount on the front end. I'm really not. I think that definitely cheapens the brand right out of the gate, right? It's going to make it really difficult for you to be a really, you know, well-known, beautiful venue if it's automatically discounted, right? You know, you have those features about you, but the mentality in the market is going to become that you are a discount venue. Discount venue goes out of business before everybody else, right? So, all right, let's click through to weddings. So the design is great. Like I love the layout. I love the design. I think that's fine. Get into branding. The brand is sitting here. I still believe you want the logo in the top left corner. It's just the conditioning of where people go. They look for it in the corner. I think that we should do that. So consider that, right? So let's make sure that we do that. All right. Oh, and actually my screen came back and it looks clear. Okay, cool. So we're getting there. So let's jump into weddings. And I want to see a couple of the page designs on the internal pages. And let's see what it looks like here. Hi, Terry. Welcome. And all right. So something's supposed to be loading. This again, this could be because Facebook live stream, a lot of times it pulls a lot of bandwidth. Okay. So again, we're on the weddings page. We've got another video going. That's great. I'm all for it. What we're not seeing is a very good scale of the video, right? So now if we scale down the monitor some, I still think that this video is not displaying properly. So I'm going to refresh that page really quick. I want to see what it looks like. If it does a better job of displaying now that we've kind of shrunk the screen down some. All right. It's not refreshing the video, which is interesting. So that is something that I would definitely work on. Here we are. We refresh the screen. A lot of people are going to refresh the screen because they want to see, they actually want to see the video play, right? So I would actually make it so that thing loops and it always replays if somebody refreshes the page. That's what I would do. And maybe it should, but it's just not right at this moment. I don't know, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing right now. And so right now the video is not playing. Okay, so that's an issue. So you at this point right now are pounding a $500 deposit when you book. What I would do is, let's see here. And actually, I apologize. I'm going to step back a second and totally apologize. This is a $500 deposit, so it must be a discounted deposit. Maybe you don't have to put down as much, but it doesn't actually say that the price changed. So I apologize for kind of harping on that. That's completely my fault for not reading all the way through. This could be a nice actually offer. Hey, it's only a $500 deposit if you want to book your wedding for March, or excuse me, your wedding during the month of March. That actually could be a good thing. So I apologize for misreading that or misunderstanding that. So on this weddings page, right, we come down here. This looks clean. You guys are pretty clear with typography. Yeah, I mean, you guys are playing your venue pretty well. This is nice. I didn't realize that was there. That's outside, obviously. Yeah, I mean, the only one thing I would do in this section is that looking at how this piece scales on, right here, this section, how it scales on a large monitor. What I might do is kind of tweak it so that it fits a little better, because then when you get to maybe a little bit of a smaller monitor, as you can see, it kind of fills the square a little better. So maybe add some padding on each side so that in a bigger monitor, as you kind of blow it out, the text doesn't leave so much just open white space. That's all. Other than that, it looks good. I do not care for this being dark and then hovering white. It should go the opposite, right? And actually, I would just make this a hover effect too. Most people are going to come in here and try to push on the icon. So I'm going to open that up. You guys have a drone video. You have floor plans, 3D tour. Awesome. You're obviously using, I would imagine you're using Matterport. Here's the deal. I'm going to give this to you right now. This is important in my mind. When I click on this, what's opening is a website that is not yours. It's going to Matterport. I would not do that. I would embed this inside your website. So you need to get the embed code from whoever did this for you, whatever the Matterport partner was. And I would absolutely 100%, 1,000%, I would get this and embed it on your website. That's super important. Love the fact that you have it. I think it's very important. This is a beautiful video. Great cinematography. I like it. Good job. Yep. I like that you have it. So good assets, good use of assets. 3D virtual tour embedded on your website. That's super important. Video walkthrough looks good. Drone video, we could check that out. Floor plans, awesome. Okay, cool. In this, again, I said this in a couple other ones, right? You notice how this text right here, because it has bullets, it aligns left. But then if you look over here, all of this is centered. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Plus, create margins, right? So I think imagery should run full width. Content should run in alignment with the way usually a header would run. So like if this right here is the edge of your left margin, the content, the text shouldn't run outside of it unless it's in a cell like this. So it's in one of these cells. Yeah, it can run left further, but down here, this is just content. This should all be squeezed so that this point right here to the right, and then basically kind of this point right here to the left, that should be the margin. You need to create space on the right and the left so that you can differentiate where your actually stop points are. Because this runs all the way to the edge over here. It's centered text. It should be aligned left or justified to create columns, right? Because these are 3 different columns. Now this one you aligned left. This one you have centered. This one you have centered. That doesn't really flow. So let's do that. All right, let's dig into. All right, so you've got wedding wire here. You've got some social images here. That's great. All of your awards, awesome. Okay, let's. I want to jump to this pricing page, and I'm not going to harp on obviously like my feeling about pricing because you know how that goes. All right, so page is loading slow, so that could be because of the Facebook Live. Okay, it is obviously. Okay, so pricing. So here's something that I'm not a fan of. When you tell me I'm going to get something and then you don't give it to me, that's going to frustrate people. So what I would do is I wouldn't call the page pricing because there is no pricing on the page. That's incorrect. I would do something along the lines of, access a pricing brochure, something along those lines. That's what I would do, because I think that you're going to frustrate people a little more than you're probably, meaning to. So let's jump. This is your calendar. So at this point right now, let's see here. Let's go to this weekend. Cool. Friday. Internal booking, user booking. Don't know what those mean. It's blocked out. I'm assuming there's some sort of something going on. Something's going on. All right. So, over the top, this doesn't tell me a ton, right? So this doesn't tell me a lot. It just kind of shows me, I guess I could come here and book something. So that's just kind of how you guys end up booking out. So yeah, I'm not really sure. It looks like you got multiple rooms that you could book out. I'm not really sure how that plays into just specifically weddings or other events. I don't know if you do multiple at the same time. That's why I was hoping Kathy could jump on and we could have a little more of a dialogue here. All right. Schedule a tour. Let's jump to this page. I just want to see what this looks like. And then we'll kind of cut out of here. This is a great website. I think it looks good. I think there's a lot of things in here that are great. You're allowing people to self-schedule their tours. Okay. So, that's fine. If that's how you guys do it. I would want to see what happens on the back end of that. What happens after you guys get somebody who self-books their own tour, then what, right? Do you then, do you then have a follow-up sequence? Do you have marketing automation in place? What happens after that? Because I think, your show up rates, I'd be curious to see how those go. And most importantly, how many people go from a tour to a booked wedding, right? What are those percentages? That's where I think there's going to be a lot of value to learn from. So other than that, the website's beautiful. It looks great. There's no contact information, right? You can come down to the bottom. This isn't click to call. This isn't click to email. Those things need to be improved. Those are, we talk about those each time. Those are really, really important. So definitely look into those. And other than that, technology looks good, design, layout, all those things. Yeah, looking good. And we'll jump to the next. All right, cool. So let's see, who do we have next? Actually, now that I'm sitting here looking at this, hang on one sec. We can jump to the views at sunset. Leslie, you guys still on? Go ahead and leave me a quick comment. Because who had the other one? Sarah Marie. I'm just going to message her really quick. Sarah Marie. And to do yours in a couple minutes. Hey, you're there. Awesome. Thanks, Leslie. I'm going to do yours next, Leslie. All right. Okay. So let's jump to the views at Sunset Ridge. All right. I thought I looked this up, but I'm going to do it again anyway. Platform, Squarespace. Got it. Yes. Okay. So if you can look up here, I haven't done this a lot, but I do actually want to share this with you guys because I think it's important. See this box right up here? That's called a favicon. If you look at Facebook's is an F, right? It's their logo. You should have a favicon up here. That's going to help people determine. This square is the Squarespace one. I could have looked here and realized what platform it was built on. When we come into this website right here from the homepage, technology, I'm not overly in love with Squarespace simply because Squarespace is not designed for businesses. It was designed for portfolios. right? So it's very image based. It's supposed to be, something where you can showcase a portfolio well. It doesn't integrate well with a lot of things. You don't own it, right? So you don't actually own the assets of that. You can't pull the HTML files, like all of the design and all of that functionality. You can't pull it and actually go do something else with it. It doesn't exist. So again, not a huge fan, not in love with it, but you are using it. And so some of the things that I would do right off the bat on this page on the design, because now we're moving to design, is I would go full width, right? You guys are in a visual business. You got to show what you're selling. This is interesting. The views, right? So if I say the views, I'm expecting you to give me massive, massive amounts of beautiful photography that shows the views, right? So right now you have a little picture. Now, one thing, we'll scroll back and we'll see a scale down, see what it looks like on a smaller monitor, right? It takes up more of the space, but I really think that you should be expanding full width. You should use much bigger photos. That would be really, really valuable for you guys. So next we scroll down. Here's a little bit of text. That's great. Kind of explains it. It is a little bit. What you might want to do is kind of, spell this out a little bit more. I think give it a little more depth. So there's a little more text here. And I'm assuming if these are buttons, which they are, they should hover. There should be some sort of a hover effect. So if you land on this, it goes a little bit opaque, something like that. I'm curious about the typography here. So right now in my visual view, I can see logo is 1, navigation is 2. Then this scripty font is 3. This other somewhat scripty font is 4. And then this body copy is 5. That's 5 different types of font and typography on. This is the first view of the website, right? So I'm already disconnected. And this isn't something, and let me clarify here. This isn't something that is, what I want to say is like super conscious. Nobody looks at this and goes, oh, that's kind of weird. Like nothing aligns. That's not the point. The point is that we are conditioned by using the internet, trusting brands, that as we go through and things don't align and they just might look slightly off, we naturally just don't trust the brand. This isn't my research. This isn't my study. This is literally scientifically proven. And this is why brands, big businesses, spend millions and millions of dollars in what they call UX design. It's user experience design. UX design is taking in all of these accounts. Does my brand flow through the entire website? Does my typography, fonts, things like that, make it easy for people to read my text? Am I using the most common fonts that most people just naturally will read through? What's used in books? What's used on the major websites of the world? How many different fonts am I using? Is there a sequence of my brand all the way through? My opinion is that this font up here as a logo does not serve you, right? The font itself doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's kind of scripty. The first letter of a few words is double scripted. I don't know that it serves you well. I think you guys are early enough in your career as a venue to rebrand and actually create a logo that makes sense, that's easy to read, easy to remember, right? If I were to sit down and look at a brand, could I basically go write it down on a piece of paper and tell somebody like, oh, it looks like this. So when somebody's looking, like that's the mentality that you want to have. Can my brand be so recognizable that somebody could just literally jot it down on a napkin, share it with somebody, and then be able to showcase, like, they would know what it is. Is that possible? So that's something to kind of think about. All right. So as we scroll down, again, this could be using, look at all of this white space that's out here. Look at all of this empty space. All of that can be used to show how beautiful your venue and your views are. because you guys are the view, right? So, all right, testimonials. The way testimonials are displayed, you obviously wrote these and put them on your website. I'm not saying they're not real, but what I'm saying is that I'm not saying they're true because I can't tell. So what I might do is make them look a little more real, meaning you can use screenshots. You can use like some of the design styles that just look a little more real than that. So, and then you're asking just for some contact information. I don't know what information I'm going to get from you, right? You left the powered by Squarespace down here, which means you either aren't paying for the platform, you're not paying enough to remove it, or you just didn't know to remove it, but I would definitely remove it. So this is also one thing that's here too, is there's no breaking, right? There's no breakage. So each of these, like this is one white page that just scrolls and scrolls and scrolls. There is no section where I can go, well, I want to go look at the testimonials, and I can go to like the testimonials section because it makes sense. And by the way, really quick, this is our 6th font. Yeah. So that's font style 6 on one page. That's not a good thing. All right. Okay. So let's go. I'm going to jump to a couple internal pages. We talked about the tech. We talked about the design. We talked about your brand. Now we're in to a couple of the internal pages here. You know, I would work with some design elements to work on, you know, altering the page colors, giving them some breaking points, some things like that. All right. So again, you're reusing that kind of 6th font on this page. Now here's what's interesting on any website where it's a wedding website, right? If a couple looks at this and they go, oh my God, that's cute. And then they go to click on it, it doesn't blow up and make it bigger. You probably want to make it clickable, right? I love it. Excuse me, I have an itch. The groom's quarters look beautiful. Those look great. I love the fact that you have a spot for them. The meadow, that's beautiful. Amazing. I love it. Goodness, your guys' hall is astonishing. I love it. Yeah, I like your venue a ton. Oh my gosh, I love it. I think it's gorgeous. What I think is that you're just not sharing the experience, you know, really in a way that somebody can really get into it, right? Like if I'm here and I see these, I'm like, man, I want to get into this, right? I should click on this. It could take me to a gallery. Boom, like check out more. You know, you're in here, you know, you're asking people to give you information, but nobody knows what they're going to get, right? So you have the web form, but you don't really know what I'm going to get. Like, what's the point? Then on the back end of that, what are you going to do when it comes to, you know, marketing automation? Do you have anything on the back end of that? So I would think about those things. All right. So I'm just going to jump through here a little bit. Hello, Lauren. I saw you just joined. Thank you. All right. Let's see really quick. Dang, I'm itchy. Beautiful, beautiful. This looks great. So now you give some details about the property, Cherokee wedding blessing. Okay, great. And then you're kind of the form. So the pages are basically the same. You're just adding a different photo, which should be full width. That's a beautiful view. It's got to be spread across the whole page. You got to showcase the venue. Now, I said this last week, and I'll kind of reiterate it. So this is beautiful because, like, let's go to right here to Chandler and Clint, right? And this is obviously a nice wedding at your venue. And here's a bunch of photos. So I think that you can do photography in the galleries in a couple ways. I think one way that you should always do it is showcase the different places in the venue. So, you know, have the meadows in a section, have the you know, the loft, have the, you know, the actual ceremony site, or I forget what you called it, the row, something. Have each of those areas in their own section so somebody can go, cool, what does that look like? Then they can look at multiple weddings in that section. Because when I come in here and I go, I'm looking for a venue, what I'm doing right now is I'm actually not viewing a venue, I'm viewing their wedding. This right here, like, here's a perfect example. This photo doesn't show you much of your venue. This shows us their wedding. It shows us what's going on there. This is showing her dress. Yes, we could see a little bit of the staircase. It's not showing anything. It's showing her dress and her shoes and the like. This is all for the photographer, right? This doesn't show your venue. That doesn't show your venue. That doesn't show your venue. That doesn't really show your venue. That a little bit, but it's focused on the women, right? So really it's tough. Like I'm seeing a little bit of it, but I'm not really seeing it. Does that make sense? I want to make sure that I'm not kind of pushing you and not helping, but like this isn't a showcase of your venue to see like, oh my gosh, that's a magnificent view, right? We're getting pieces of it around, around them. Okay, that's obviously a beautiful view, but where is that? What part of the venue is that? Like I want to know more. How can I see more of those photos? Well, unfortunately, at this point, the way to see more of those photos is actually to go back to the gallery. And then I have to go hunt through all of these different weddings and try to find more of those areas. So I'm looking for a venue. I'm not looking for a photographer. So I want to see the venue. I want to see the aspects of the venue. This is obviously like the groom's quarters, right? This should go in a section with the groom's quarters. And because what it's going to do is it's going to help sell me on the groom's quarters. Then the bridal suite should sell me on the bridal suite. That will really help people get a good understanding of what your venue is like. All right. And then lastly is the contact page. Here, let's see, obviously it looks at this point, hold on a sec, web form, that, and then there's a phone number here. It's not click to call. I don't have an email, so I can't just email you direct. I have to fill out this form, even though I don't know what I'm going to get when I fill this form out, right? So I really don't know. So what I want to also notice is you don't have any privacy policy or terms and conditions. That's a big deal. You definitely want to make sure you have that. So, all right, I've got you guys here. So Leslie, Ashley, share with me what questions do you have really quick before we kind of hop off and go to the next, actually the last venue. What else do you have? What questions? I'm patiently waiting, as you can tell. And if you don't have any questions, just share with me that you don't have any questions. And that's fine too. Hey, Lauren, what, share with me what venue you're a part of. I'd love to hear that. Oh, cool. There we go. Would you change the galleries and put more in the sections? I'm assuming you just mean more, and you can add a little bit to that if you want to answer this. Do you mean add more, like add more more photos for each section? Or I'm not sure what you mean by add more to each of the sections, but I would absolutely do that. You said help. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely put them into sections so that you can kind of segment segment your venue so that people can figure out what they're looking at, right? I want to know what I'm looking at. What areas am I actually looking at in the venue? And then, yes, I mean, tons of photos. I would keep, you always just keep adding photos, adding more. But I like the idea of sections because like you're trying to sell me on the venue, not somebody else's photography. Their wedding was nice. But I don't really care about the photography for that wedding. What I want to do is I want to see if I'm going to get married with you. And you have to remember too, this is the hard part. Step backwards and realize that you're a venue trying to sell a service. So everything that you do in your business should be focused on selling your service. Does that make sense? Like every page on your website should be designed around enticing them to download a pricing brochure, request more information, reach out and contact you, right? Up here, guess how much contact information there is at the top. Every single website I've gone over and over with this, there's nothing up here. Where's Facebook Messenger? Where's phone number? Where's click to text, click to email? Where's all that stuff to make it one click, easy, to the point, right? I can get to you. You don't want to make people dig and hunt. People just don't want to do that. So what I would do is I would, focus on contact information, but I mean, I would definitely like, your website needs to be rebuilt. That's what I'm gonna tell you. In the best world, I would say full redevelopment of the website, move it over to a platform that you can actually own the assets, that you can control them. And then, work on like kind of a rebrand, like create a logo that's actually yours, right? This is a kind of a funky scripty font that this font, like here's a perfect example. When we talk about brand, this font does not even make any sense to this clean white website, because this is messy, scripty, right? This is script. This is clean script right here, this Sunset Ridge. Even this is a little cleaner font down here where it says about the property, but this up here is very messy. So it doesn't really actually make sense when it comes to a clean white, open space website. So I think some of those things hopefully will help. What other questions do you have? Go ahead and fire away, because we're going to jump to the chapel in just a minute. I'm here to answer your questions, so fire away if you have them. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Leslie, so look, like if you're dead in love with this, and I mean, if you want, we can jump on the phone and chat. Like I have no issue with that. Here's the thing. You have to decide what you want to do. Like I'm not a huge fan of, and I mean, this is a little bit of personal preference, but it's also just kind of human psychology. This is a messy logo. No matter which way you flip it, this isn't a clean font, right? And because it's not a clean font, what you end up with is disconnect, right? There are no successful companies, big companies in the world who spend millions of dollars to get this right. There are zero that have a messy font type logo, zero. So I, as a business owner, and I've got, we have our venue in Northern California. I invested into 4. I own a few other businesses alongside. I model what success looks like elsewhere. Can it be something that I could remember? Is it very easy to look at a logo and reiterate it and know exactly what it was? The intent behind a logo is that it's the brand, right? It's what somebody would remember about your venue, about your business, no matter where they go. If they saw the logo instantly without even reading it, they'd know it was you, right? That's what the logo is supposed to be for. Everybody knows what the Nike swoosh is. Everybody knows what that is. Everybody, right? Because it's been branded in us since we were born. And so I'm not saying you have to go that whole route, but what I think would be better is if you guys had a very clean, easy to remember logo. Nobody could draw this if they had to. And that's a good question to ask when you put a logo together. Is there anybody that could actually draw this? There's nobody could do it off the top of their head, right? They'd have to like sit down and look at it. And so I think that's a good thought process around logos. Is it simple enough that everybody would get it? So I hope that helps. I know that's not probably the news that you want. But I mean, if you want to ask a lot more questions, like let's chat a little further, kind of offline this. I want to keep going and just do the last website. But I mean, let's chat. I'll help you any further that I can, and you guys can ask any question that you want. And hopefully I have the answer for it, and if I don't, I can point you in a direction to go look for it. But let's do that. So, all right, I'm going to jump on to the last one here, and yes, please. Okay, cool. So, Leslie, shoot me a message, a direct message, and let's schedule a call here in just a little bit. And so I'll follow up with you as soon as I'm done with this website. Why don't you guys hang on? Why don't you take a peek and watch this one, and then we can go from there. All right. So this is the chapel on the mountain. Obviously a beautiful website. It's built on WordPress, which I love. I think that's great because you own the asset, right? You can control it. It's a little funky because there's some outdated pieces of this, right? So these pellet buttons, these are outdated. These also don't have any hover effect, which is an absolute no-no. That one has a little one, but it's kind of a no-no if it doesn't have a hover effect. I just heard your message, Leslie. Thank you. Wait, Leslie, where are you located? 206. Is that Washington State? Seattle area? Or at least your phone number? All right. And so coming back to this, so this logo right here in the header does not allow me to see the venue, or excuse me, see the brand. So the technology I think is great. I think the technology is fine. It's built on Divi theme in WordPress. I think that's great. What I'm not a fan of is that the brand isn't being shared. You really can't see the brand. Leslie commented, my heart is still there. I used to live in Linwood, Seattle, and Bell District, and then I also lived in Federal Way. So I used to live in Seattle too, but my heart's in Denver. So sorry. Anyway, all right, back to this. So this is clean. What's interesting is that there's a couple things that are still a little tiny bit outdated, like the buttons. But what I would do is I would just update those, because then when you get down here, you have round buttons here, but then you scroll down here and these are hard edge corners, right? And then you have a square edge button here. So what I would do is I would definitely make the brand more cohesive. I would also showcase this logo a lot more up here in this header. You've got to show the brand. So, all right, let's jump around. I want to see what this look around page is. I haven't heard of a page called look around, so let's check it out. Looks like you can kind of hop to each of the venue, looks like they're the areas of their venue. Although these two have the same photo. That one's a different one. So maybe make me realize that these are two different things, because those don't look like two different areas. Typography wise, you guys are great. You guys have the font up here, body font, and then you guys have a different headline font, and that's fine. That works fine. So is there a way to get more information than just this about each of these venues? The lodge and the bird on the mountain. Can I click on something to get more information, see some photography, get some, get deeper? How can I get deeper? You should layer me into more text, more content. So if we go to galleries, hopefully I could see a little more of each of these areas of the venue. All right. So, okay. So you just broke it down. You just show the whole shebang all in one. You could section it out and let people see it. Add a lot more photos. You need way more photos here. That's just a fact. Okay. So reserve your dream today. Let's click on that and see what happens. Okay. So it's taking us to the contact page. Let's do something specific. If you, by chance, are trying to get somebody to request and book a tour of some sort, make sure that what you're asking for is relevant to that. So name, email, phone number, and then you're making somebody write a message, but they don't know what they want to say. So let's not make somebody write something that they don't know. All it is a friction point, and it's not really necessary. The other thing too is skip these questions and just go to the new CAPTCHA checkboxes. Those are way better. They're faster. They're safer. Do those. All right. So the one thing I do want to do is get to packages. So if I just click on packages, oh, I have to pick one. So Chapel packages here. Is this going to give me pricing? What are we doing here? Let's see. All right. So, okay. So we have, it looks like, so just the chapel up to 30 guests. Obviously this is a, oh, I think there's supposed to be a couple. Oh yeah. Okay. So there's multiple packages. All right. Okay. So this is how you're displaying your pricing. All right. And now let's see what, yes, this page is kind of funky to scroll so long. You have so many photos that are beautiful here. Put them in the gallery. Like let people see them. All right. So we've got that. I want to see what some of these other packages look like so I can kind of get an idea of what this costs really to get married here. I think that this is layering a little deep. Like this could be in one brochure that makes a lot more sense to people and you could get the lead out of it. I would pull this off the website in a second. And I know that's like, that's how we do things because like the whole goal is the website is supposed to sell. You're supposed to capture leads. Right now, the only thing that I can do is I can click contact us. That's the only way to get in touch with you, right? If I scroll all the way down to the footer, way down here, this is not click to call. This is not click to text. I would absolutely make all of those happen, but you've got to use the area that I look for that right now, like, look at this scrolls with me and there's no communication options up here. Let's put that up there so that you have, like, you can actually, do something like you can capture leads. You can capture people calling you, get them to text you, like start allowing people to do what they want to do to get in touch with you. All right. So, I mean, you have a beautiful venue. These are amazing packages. I would really put a big focus on trying to pull pricing off the site, get people to download something in order to give you their information so that you can convert more weddings. Like, I just feel like you have a lot of opportunity sitting in front of you that people are probably coming and they're leaving. So we didn't even get into retargeting and how to get back in front of people who do leave. I think that there are some really cool tricks and advertising strategies you can do when it comes to that. So, I mean, those are my suggestions right now. That's what I would do right out of the gate. I mean, the design itself is fine. It's beautiful. I would choose your style. You have rounded corners here, square edge corners here. Like, pick your brand and then showcase the brand up here. Put communication opportunities in the header. Let people get in touch with you. It's really important. All right. So that's the last one. If anybody has any further questions, please let me know. You can still comment on this after it's I shut off. You guys can keep commenting through there and we'll jump back in and answer any questions. You can always reach out to me as well. You can email me direct, joe@thevenueassociation.org. You can always reach me there. And I look forward to helping anybody with any further questions they might have. So hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. And let's definitely chat again on another webinar. All right, guys. Thanks a ton.